Hi, my name is Misha Calvert, and this is Film on Tape, an audio library of everything that I have learned as a filmmaker. I really hope that this is helpful to you in some way. And if it is, feel free to check out my website, mishacalvert.com. You can see my writing and directing there, and you can also sign up for very occasional emails that I send. All right, on to the show. Today I'll be speaking about my creative process. I had a question come in where I draw my inspiration from for my projects. And today I'm going to tell you some of the ways that I draw inspiration and some of the places that I find my ideas, because everyone has access to these ideas and everyone has access to inspiration. So, one of the first things that signals to me that there's a project that wants to happen or a film that wants to be made or some sort of creative work is that I'll notice that I'm having a strong reaction to something. I'll have a strong emotion or a strong response to something that's happening in my life or something that happened already in the past. And those big feelings like feeling angry, feeling sad, feeling scared. A lot of people think negative emotions are just bad across the board, like negative is negative, but I find that truly the best work that I have done has come from first feeling really activated about something. And then because I like to take action, those things that upset me, the way that I get back at them is by making a film or by making a show or by writing a script. It's actually a way for me to feel, I think now that I'm speaking about it, kind of like I'm evening the score. Like, well, this thing happened and I felt really upset. And so I'm going to get my comeuppance by making something that shows how I felt about it. And it gives me a sense of power back. It gives me a sense of control. It gives me a sense of, once again, feeling like a badass. So whatever happened, it doesn't defeat me because I can then go and make something that is even better than the bad thing was. So that's the first way. Whenever I'm activated, I want to look and see what's there and see if there's a story there or a film or a TV pilot, and then make it. And that's on me. Bad things happen, but it's on you to take it and do something with it. The next way that I find inspiration is by realizing when something is important to me. And it could be anything. It could be a person. It could be a political topic. It could be a place or an event, something that really, really matters to me. And if it matters to me, I know that I'm going to be able to do a good job in bringing it to the world, to make it matter to the world. The scripts that I've written that have been the worst have been about something that didn't really matter to me. So as long as I really care about the thing that I'm writing about, I'm going to stay motivated not only to write it, but to do all of the rewrites on it, and then to go through all of the journey of actually making it. So if you're like, oh, I don't know what to make I don't have any stories in me, I don't know what to write about, I don't know what to make a movie about, I'm lacking in inspiration, just look at what's important to you. Look around your life, people, places, things, what's important to you. And, it's a really good question. I have another episode on this that I'm going to record about how to create extraordinary works. And if you find that not much is important to you, I would invite you to invest more in your life. Invest more in people, places, and things and experiences and yourself. Because if you are passionate about your life, you will be passionate about the art that you make. The third thing that I have made lots of film and TV shows about in the past, which I'm not so much operating this way now, but in the past it was everything I did was just, is something funny? Did something happen to me that was funny, that was truly hilarious, like shockingly hilarious? Because then the movie kind of writes itself, and I just need to transcribe what happened. I have been moving more into dramatic work lately, the past few years, and it's actually annoyingly hard to, oh, don't hate me, it's hard to stop being funny. It's actually a problem. I just turned in a horror script, and some of the notes that came back were that it was funny and that was confusing. And I I was really trying not to be funny. And so it's this burden of now comedy is sort of following me into this new era of my work as an artist. But look, if you want to make comedy, then all you have to do is look for what you find funny in life and then, craft it and send it around and get some input. But the funnier you find something, the funnier we are going to find it. And it's up to you to then just make sure you're translating it appropriately from what you find funny to what audiences are going to find funny. The fourth thing that really inspires me to want to go all in on a project is when somebody pays me. When somebody gives me money to do what I love, I have developed a reflex of really loving that. I just love it. I love being paid for my work as an artist, and it really kicks me in the pants to do a good job with the project. And so I think you can train yourself to do better and better work the more other people are kind of holding you accountable. And that money is holding me accountable. I have a job to do, and in a way it just makes me kind of straighten my spine, buckle in, and get down to work because it is a job. And I think one of the failings of a lot of artists that I see, and I've certainly had periods like this myself, is that they don't see art as, they don't see it as mandatory. They see it as something they can do if they want, if they feel like it, as opposed to, no, you actually have to do this. You cannot leave your desk until the script is done. You cannot leave the taping studio until you've got the take that you need to submit for the audition or whatever your medium of choice. But art isn't about, really, like, if you want to succeed in the business, it's not about do you feel like doing it or not. You show up and you do it. And then you keep doing it until you know that you have a quality product. And if you need to take a break, you take a break, but then you come back to it. Okay, I am interrupting myself for one hot second to let you know that this month, secretly, it's every month, I am doing a giveaway of 1 free hour of coaching with me to someone who leaves a 5-star review. Make sure that your first name and your last initial are in the review. Drop me a DM on Instagram and let me know that you submitted, and then I'm just going to pick at random. I really appreciate you listening, and I so appreciate you leaving a 5-star review. Thank you. And now back to the show. So I think somebody paying me for that job reminds me of that kind of a work ethic and motivates me to be really disciplined and to not leave until I find the thing that's really cool about the project. It's all very well and good if you have the inspiration and you have the time to get inspired. But let's talk about, how do you even create an environment so that inspiration can come in? That includes time and that includes setting. So one thing that is very important to me, and that I don't think I feel good unless I have this, is a clear morning. If I have to jump straight into somebody else's agenda for the day, like what someone else is wanting of me, like immediately upon waking, that really throws me off. And I have not only less access to inspiration for that morning, but it actually compromises my ability to stay connected to my creative spirit for the rest of the day. It's almost like if I can set the tone for the day of me being connected to me and having access to my own thoughts, visions, creativity, imagination, if I can do that at the top of the day, it's much more likely that it's going to stay with me for the rest of the day. So I tell my assistant, I really don't like meetings in the morning. I mean, if I absolutely have to, I will. But generally, no meetings in the morning. Mornings are for me to do writing. They're for me to do brainstorming. Also, if I have pitches coming up, I will spend that time getting creative about the pitches or honing in on the people that I'm going to be pitching to. So basically, my hardest and most creatively dense work I do in the morning. And I really try to not schedule anything over that morning so that that time is really sacred to me. Also, when you're coming out of sleep, when you're in a hypnagogic state, you are much more likely to have access to your imagination because you're in a state that where your brainwaves are between conscious and subconscious. And so much creativity comes from the subconscious. I think I've dropped this stat before, but the conscious mind processes data at 134 megabytes per second. The subconscious can process up to 11 million megabytes per second. So if you want to tap into your inspiration and your imagination, start hanging out with your subconscious. And it is front and center when you are first waking up, also right before bed. So you kind of have this secret advantage of being able to, when you first wake up, get access to a lot of the ideas that are hiding away in your subconscious that then go away when you enter those alpha brainwaves and are trying to kind of go about your day in a normal workday fashion. This is also why inspiration comes in the shower, because in the shower we clear the conscious mind and enter more of a trance state where the subconscious comes forward and takes over. I don't know about you, but I had excellent ideas in the shower, and it's because that conscious brain is not at the wheel. It's the subconscious. Now, none of this is going to be possible for me if I have not slept. And there is science behind this. I don't have it in front of me, but I recently read a book that did lay out all the science behind this. Basically, if you haven't slept, if you're sleep deprived, you are running on survival mode. And your brain is much worse at pattern matching. Your imagination tanks. It doesn't feel like it has the resources to give to creativity because it's just trying to survive and get you through the day. So sleep is incredibly valuable for making sure that you have enough energy and enough that your brain is going to operate in a way that is friendly towards imagination, and that it feels like, okay, survival's taken care of, so now we can actually have some fun and play and pattern match and start to make connections in the subconscious brain. But if you haven't slept, then that's much harder for you to do that. So if I've got sleep, if I've got a clear morning, and let's say it's a weekend and I'm not pressed to go to my desk and generate anything, I will go to nature. If I'm looking for ideas or inspiration or a place to get into that hypnotic state and I don't want to spend 3 hours in the shower, I will go to nature, or I will go to a museum, which to me kind of feels like nature. But I find that the environments of nature and of being around other forms of art, to me, really, they light me up. I mean, this isn't, everyone listening probably has the same experience, but especially nature, because nature has so many incredible structures that are pre-existing, like the systems of nature. They blow my mind. I think they're far superior to human systems. And going out and looking at the geometry of nature, the relationships of nature, plants, mold, bacteria. Well, you can't see bacteria, but looking at animals and the way that they're running around like baby animals, but also dead animals, and just the cycles of nature. It has so much of a richness that really feeds me. And the thing I like about nature too, one of the things that I love about it is not hierarchical. It doesn't give a shit about validation. It doesn't care who you are. You, as, let's say, an Oscar award-winning filmmaker, don't have any more or any less value than a college student who is trying to pursue a film degree who's never made a film. Nature doesn't care. And so much of Hollywood cares. So much of Hollywood, it's what you've done, what awards have you won, how much money have you made, What famous people can you get? What famous roles can you get? La, la, la. And it's really poisonous to fall into that. But the more time the more time I spend in nature, the more those concerns fall away because nature doesn't care. Nature wants you to be in harmony with it and with yourself, and that's it. And that I find to be an extremely conducive atmosphere for it's a safe place for my imagination. Maybe not safe if I'm trying to, live in the forest. I wouldn't be very good at that. But my imagination is safe in nature, and that's where some of my best ideas come. Also, listening to music. This is now an afterthought, but it just occurred to me that listening to music is also because it's the same thing as being around art. So if you're wanting to be inspired and you're finding that you have the time, but you don't know where to go or how to fill up your spirit, try filling it with art or filling it with nature. And make sure that you've cleared some time to do that in your morning or in your afternoon or your evening. Just time for you and you. I hope this was helpful. And I really would love to know if you've created anything as a result of this advice, if this was able to free up some time or some excitement or some passion for you to make even just the outline of something that you want to shoot or the outline of a character that you want to play. All right, thanks so much for listening. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to Film on Tape. I really hope that it was helpful to you in some way. And if so, please feel free to leave a 5-star review so that other people know this is a good podcast. If you want to check out my work as a writer-director, you can see it at www.mishacalvert.com or drop me a DM. The best way to get a hold of me is on Instagram at Misha Calvert. See you next time.